Hello, this is modulistack, and I am bringing you another instructional game from the StarCraft 2 class Reddit. Over here on the right side, as the pink Zerg, we do have GravityWave, who did request this replay. And at the top, as the red Protoss, we have SiKoBeaR or SiKoBeaR. I will prefer to pronounce that SiKoBeaR. I did just get a new pop guard. Pop guards are very important, and you also feel very professional if you talk into a big black circle. Pylon going down at 9. Whoa, crazy probe, crazy probe. Okay, so just to demonstrate, I'm going to take this pop guard off, and I'm going to say that we're seeing some pretty powerful play here from our Protoss player. And those p sounds are pretty nasty in the recording, but with this pop guard, we do see some pretty powerful play here from our Protoss player. Sounds just okay, so that is how much I care about you listeners. Not chrono boosting the probe. Interesting. It looks like he's planning for a gateway on 11. Kind of cool to see that really early gateway. More normal if you do not spend that chrono boost. More normal is to get the gateway on 12. You can actually get the gateway on 12 and spend the chrono boost if you're absolutely perfect with your probes, but I digress. Cool to see players varying it up a little bit. Although I do have this question of whether this is actually better than sort of a 10 pylon, 10 gate with the chrono boost spent before the pylon, but always good to experiment. Hatchery first going down for the Zerg player. Hatchery first is dangerous in this matchup, especially with a gateway coming out at this time. SiKoBeaR could chrono boost out a Zealot, and that Zealot would be coming out pretty fast. I mean, this pool is just now going down. And even SiKoBeaR could have put down a Forge instead of this cybernetics core and done some horrible things to Zerg player. But he is not going to do that because he is not scouted at all. Zerg player, this is kind of funny to have this drone patrolling back and forth at the bottom of the ramp. Of course, Protoss is not really going to make 7 pylons to block you in. This is more to watch for cannons. But I would maybe prefer to just follow the probe around. This probe is super late. Oh my god, this is the latest scout I've ever seen. SiKoBeaR, I don't know if he chrono boosted. Oh, shh. And 3, 2, 1. Hello, this is modulistack, and I am bringing you another requested replay from the StarCraft 2 class Reddit. I did also just get a new pop guard, so things might sound even better, and I feel very professional talking into a big black circle. So if you don't know, the way pop guards work is they're just sort of a screen to prevent these very strong P sounds from coming through too much into the microphone, because you do exhale a lot when you say P sounds. As an example, I'm going to remove this pop guard and say, we are seeing some pretty powerful play here from our Protoss player. And that sounds pretty bad. But putting the pop guard back up again, we do have some pretty powerful play here from our Protoss player. So doing an excellent job avoiding those harsh plosives. That is how much I care about you, listeners. I want to protect your ears as much as possible. Not spending the chrono boost on the Nexus. Oh yes, the players. Red Protoss at the top. We do see SiKoBeaR or SiKoBeaR. I'm going to call him SiKoBeaR. Gateway on 11. I'll get back to that in a second. GravityWave is the pink Zerg on the right side, and he requested this replay. He said this is a fairly standard Zerg versus Protoss, and standard games are great to learn from because, well, they're standard, and so those situations come up again and again, as opposed to really crazy awesome games which are fun to watch, but then those never happen again, and you don't get any better. Looks like Zerg is going to go for a hatchery first on 15. A few seconds late there, but it does go down. Hatchery first is risky in this matchup, but if you're brave enough to do it, then go right ahead. This gateway is coming up. He delayed the chrono boost in order to get this very fast gateway out, and it looks like his plan for that fast gateway is a fast cybernetics core on 16. Given the timing of this, I think that gateway could have been delayed until 12. I'm not going to focus too much on that, though. What is happening? Zealot coming out. I like the Zealot coming out. I do not like the chrono boost on the Zealot. Protoss, has not scouted at all. This is the first scout going out, so actually does need to chrono boost out the Zealot to deal with 6 pools or something, but, you know, you don't need the Zealot because he did a hatch first. You know, you have nothing to worry about. So spending a chrono boosts, chrono boosts are so good. Don't spend them on worthless units. Also, this gateway, 1 square too high. Looks like you cannot block off here with just 1 Zealot. Chrono boost going down now on the warp gate. So his goal is to get a very fast warp gate with that quick gateway and cybernetics core. Interesting. Of course, Protoss always wants to get a very fast warp gate, but how fast is always a big question. Looking at the production tab, Zerg player not starting his second queen. And that is definitely a mistake. The queen is the most powerful piece in the game for the Zerg. So you should get it out into the board absolutely as fast as possible. See, he's making 2 early drones instead of that second queen. But he actually is going to need an overlord and a queen, basically, right now. 4 Zerglings out. How many Zerglings to get early is always a very interesting choice. Looks like he's going to leave 3 behind. This is not good. If you're going to make 4, go ahead and be aggressive with them. Push out. If you see a Zealot, you might be able to surround it. If you're just going to poke around, just make 2. You can delay those other 2 for a little while and get a drone instead. Those little bits of economy do add up a lot. Speaking of economy, Zerg player, a little bit ahead, which is good. But Protoss doing a decent job producing probes. Of course, has not spent a lot of chrono boost on those because he has been trying to get this warp gate out really fast. And it's interesting because he's got a robotics facility on the way and he's going to have 2 warp gates. So a really interesting build here. I'm not sure I completely understand the quick robotics facility, but this really fast warp gate with just 2 gateways is a very nice idea because what you often see is Protoss players getting slightly slower warp gate, but with more gateways, like a 4 gate, for example. But this is sort of an aggressive 2 gate. He's going to be able to be more aggressive with this than you would normally be able to be with these 2 gateways because he did get that warp gate out so fast. So it is important to note, units do produce faster out of warp gates than regular gateways. Ignoring the rallying time, they actually produce faster. The cooldown is shorter than the build time for the corresponding units, and you can build as soon as the warp gate finishes. So, 3 spine crawlers from GravityWave. Definite overreaction. He did see this force moving out with a Zergling at the Zelnaga Tower, although he should have really been running that Zergling all the way up to the front. 3 spine crawlers is definitely an overreaction because he already had roaches coming out and has a bunch of speedlings out, and this is just a very redundant defense. Especially the problems with this creep spread. Needs to get that tumor out right now. Needs to push that tumor out this second because these spine crawlers are not in the best position. Protoss can actually just walk straight up. Zerg's one advantage here is he has very good scouting information and sees exactly what Protoss is doing. Sees that 3rd gateway is not up yet and that there's this robotics facility. I believe an observer has come out for the Protoss, although I'm having trouble finding it for some reason. There is an observer out. Oh, it's on its way. So Protoss will soon know exactly what's going on with Zerg. He is chrono boosting out an immortal and thinking about expanding. I would do this in the reverse order. I would expand and then chrono boost out an immortal because especially given that his observer is able to see exactly what the Zerg is doing, he should be able to feel pretty safe at this point in expanding. There's no reason to rush that immortal out so quickly as to delay your expansion. 3rd warp gate warping in. This is still pretty open. I mean, I don't know exactly how I feel about this. I would definitely like to see creep spread here, but this is kind of like a trap. Protoss is being sort of invited to walk up the ramp. And the problem is that if Protoss walks up the ramp, there's a possibility he will lose his entire army. So, kind of a trap having the spine crawlers in that position. A little strange. I do like this positioning better of these spine crawlers. Back debris, still a problem, but he's going to be in a good position. Now, what about the Protoss? What's going on with him? He has not been making very many sentries at all. His gas has been kind of high all game. If this is your style, that's fine, but you should delay the second gas a lot more. Of course, Protoss sentries are just so good. You should be getting sentries because they just give you so many options. The Guardian Shield protects a lot against Hydro Roach and against Mutalisks if that does occur. And the force fields give you so many options as to where and how to engage with the Zerg's army, which is very important. Protoss often is behind in economy, and we see that that is the case. Oh my god. A lot of drones had come out from GravityWave. So even though I feel like he should have made a few more drones early on, he's done a good job recovering his economy. As soon as he felt safe with all these spine crawlers and roaches, he feels fine making a ton of drones and expanding. So do like that. Anyway, but the point is that Protoss should be going on a bit lower of an economy. Incidentally, let me pause and see. Oh, no probes at this nexus. No probes at this nexus. And oversaturated. Well, not oversaturated, but saturated in the main and not nearly saturated over here. So he needs to transfer a bunch more probes over here to even out that mining, and needs to be making probes at these nexi because Protoss needs to really fight to not fall too far behind the Zerg in economy. They can make more cost-effective units. They can use those units better because of force field. But you still need a lot of stuff to fight against Zerg. And getting those probes out is very key in holding off late-game Zerg. And he's going for a robotics bay. You're very vulnerable when you go to a robotics bay. Now, he did see this Hydralisk Den. Evolution change.